I titled today's Neville Goddard Conversation Mind Map. People show up in harmony with your vision out of nowhere. You see, all we can do, which is actually everything we could ever want to do, is imagine how it is, and from there, everything happens to let it be so. And this is what we're always doing, whether we are aware of it or not. And my goal with these videos is to raise awareness, as you have all the power. And there doesn't seem to be any limit to this power. So we first imagine how it is, and then body moves, others move, the world moves to show up and reveal what we are imagining. Now, imagination is complete, and all of it is inside of you. You can travel in your imagination and discover new worlds. I do. I keep traveling in imagination, and I discover even more of what already exists. And you are one with it. Imagination is one. You see, you have a formless self, I, and imagination. You get to clothe that I in imagination. And the outer aspects of life is formed accordingly. Look at this world we live in. We simply imagine things and it happens. With Midjourney, the AI program, for example, the prompt to create an image is imagine. You say to it, imagine, and you type the details, and you can further refine it, and it gives you the image you imagine. And it happens instantly. Well, it was actually always happening like this. This was Neville's message. You are imagining this conversation into existence now. You have all the power. So the technology already existed, even if it's not visible. I dedicated many years in tech. I saw the technologies in my imagination. This is how I built my IT business. I saw it in imagination, and I spoke about it rarely to the world. It was already done in imagination, and it showed up. You imagine things into existence. Neville referred to this as the pearl of great price, accepting that imagination consciously creates reality, and then it happens. And in doing so, it doesn't matter what happened before or how you got here. Now is where all your power is. Look at this world. Everything was first once imagined. Even others and what they do, we imagine them, and they show up revealing what we are imagining. And their results, you ask them, how did it happen? They may say, because of this and because of that. Actually, you are the cause. You imagine them, and they reflect what you may have wanted to hear, which could be an explanation riddled with beliefs. And nothing wrong with that. How others get to where they are can be stimulating and inspiring, yet we don't have to form dogmatic beliefs about what they say. As you imagine the way it is, and that's the way it is. Acknowledge. You can also get there your own way. And I believe your way is the best way, as that's how it's been for me. So I'm speaking from experience. And so what if we drop these unnecessary beliefs just like that, as they are garments of mind, and operate more so by faith? 2 Corinthians 5:7, for we walk by faith, not by sight. While we observe as our imaginings become visible in an effortless, flow-based way, as we are no longer identified with those unnecessary beliefs in mind. You see, you operate above the mind with awareness. You have a mind, yes, but you imagine its contents, and it animates your world. The contents of mind are animated as the world, as he says here. To attempt to change circumstances before I change my own imaginal activity is to struggle against the very nature of my own being, for my own imaginal activity is animating my world. So you are not powerless. If you believe that, let go of that belief. It's just a belief in mind. Or one could have seemingly randomized experiences and call it fate. You have all the power. It has been given to you, nothing to do. Creation is complete and it is buried within your own skull, given to you by grace, and you animate your world by how you imagine it works. So what does this mean then, to operate from the mind and above the mind? Let's discuss this today with a recent story, and also reflecting upon this quote here from his book, The Power of Awareness. He says, I am is a feeling of permanent awareness. The very center of consciousness is the feeling of I am. I may forget who I am, where I am, what I am, but I cannot forget that I am. The awareness of being remains, regardless of the degree of forgetfulness of who, where, and what I am. I am is that which, amid unnumbered forms, is ever the same. What a beautiful articulation. So sit for a moment and ask yourself, who is aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your behavior? If you say your name, understand, you could be referring to a concept of this I. And if so, ask yourself, who is this that says you are this name? These are pointers practiced in mystic teachings, which Neville was very well versed in. And then you experience it in the silence. Formless awareness. Being itself. And this is what is being referred to, no pun intended, that is your formless self, I. You are alive. You are aware. So how is this related to what I mentioned earlier, operating within mind and operating above mind? Well, operating within mind is operating automatically by subconscious beliefs, and nothing wrong with that, as many subconscious beliefs are helpful. And what we want is awareness of the ones that are not helpful, so we can release identification to them and live how we want to live in relationship with others. Operating above mind, awareness of mind, is acknowledging that you are not the beliefs in mind, nor the mind. You are the awareness that animates the beliefs of your mind, which play out accordingly, as stated in the Kabbalion. The universe is mental. So you get to change it all by simply imagining. Here we assume the role of awareness, imagining consciously into the subconscious mind, and the world moves accordingly, made visible by your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind gives birth to reality. Always remember that you have all the power over your mind and thus your life. We all have this ability to choose what to believe or imagine. If we didn't, we would be dictated by and perpetuate whatever undesirable beliefs we learned without being consciously aware that we are being run by them, and we would be at the whim of them. This is operating from awareness versus operating without awareness from mind. Do you see the distinction? And if you have challenges with this, it's totally fine. I did before as well. And your awareness will keep realizing. And you'll reclaim even more power. The reality is, you've always had all the power. It's infinite. And we realize this each day through consciously applying this information. I like to look at it like this: awareness and awareness of, like we discussed in Thursday's video, which I'll link in the description to it. Or you could say I plus consciously imagine and then it happens, or whatever way implies the same for you. So with the power of awareness, which is you, there's nothing for you to do to become awareness. You already are, and you always were. You get to observe your relationships with others, and if they're not to your liking, you reimagine them how you would like them to be, and they happen that way. And we allow this to happen through faith, operating from awareness, and let the world be, and not try to consciously or subconsciously control it from past beliefs in mind. And then our vision is realized in a fun, blissful, flow-based way done for you by the unseen power. Also, what helps is to not shame or condemn ourselves if we appear to be controlling. By simply observing the thoughts, the emotions related to the beliefs that arise, we actually release identification to those unnecessary beliefs, and they are no longer identified with. Again, this is operating from the power of awareness. And it's also helpful to imagine others and yourself lovingly. This I, which is formless, is referred to in the Bible as the image of the Creator. The Creator is unseen. And what does the Creator do? The Creator creates. So in likeness, you have been given the gifts. In the Hermetica, they are referred to as mind and speech. Speech in the Hermetica is referred to as the image of mind. So yourself, I, is formless. Your mind is blank, and you consciously put into your mind, subconscious mind specifically, through conscious imagining, and it happens. It's all done for you. You are instructed to simply imagine, which is to use the two gifts, and it happens. So for example, this Thursday we discussed some inspiration from a recent training I hosted for a large sales organization, which I taught them how to apply this information using different verbiage. And how this deal showed up was by simply imagining. And so I received many propositions, business deals, partnerships, offers, and I also have many ideas of my own as well, as I built 3 successful businesses to date. And unless I have a burning desire, I won't do it. For me, the chemistry has to be there. Otherwise, I won't allow my imagination to be stimulated. And that's my way of doing things. So towards the end of last year, it showed up. And again, I'm not waiting for anything. Everything happens. I had this burning desire to teach this information to companies, specifically for sales applications. It just showed up in that moment. And I remember when it was. I was at home. The desire stimulated my imagination, and I saw myself doing it, and I said, that's the way it is. And I accepted that desire as already fulfilled and went on with my initiatives. And I've got many things to do, business and personal life from morning till night. Just like that, I accepted it, fulfilled desire. And then the next few days, I received a message from someone, from this channel actually, who said, can you train my team via Zoom? And I said, yes. And I've never mentioned this idea to anyone, proving that the imaginal act was the cause, and that the burning desires of the heart are sacred divine desires. I learned that from Think and Grow Rich. So we ended up doing a number of sessions, and then I received another email from another subscriber of this channel who said, can you do something with our sales team? So that was the one that happened on Tuesday this week, which we referred to in Thursday's video. And so to desire a state is to have it. We accept That's the way it is, and it happens. And everyone involved accepts the suggestion. Why wouldn't they? It's mutually beneficial. Of course they would want their business to grow. The desire is a mutually beneficial gift we share. So there's no shame in having desire. We consciously give loving form to desire in imagination and fulfill it. This is the eternal romance of the conscious and subconscious aspects of the same mind. They're one. You fulfill it inside and it happens. I don't try to fulfill it outside. I feel it inside and then it reflects outside. Otherwise, body seems to run around in circles in the theater of life. Do you know how much love you feel when you fulfill your desires in imagination? Unconditional love because you accept your desires and fulfill them inside. As he says here, the spiritual self speaks to the natural self through the language of desire. The key to progress in life and to the fulfillment of dreams lies in ready obedience to its voice. Unhesitating obedience to its voice is an immediate assumption of the wish fulfilled. To desire a state is to have it. So if I desire it, I imagine it. It actually already happened in imagination, and it shows up as a reflection in life experiences. This is the power you have. You have it. So I encourage having an unhesitating obedience to the voice of your heart's desire, and accept them as already done and having it already, as I've experienced firsthand the effects, and gone are the days of needing to convince myself of this power, the power that you have right now. And so recall the power of awareness as applicable. If one is looking around for approval, validation, or worrying about how things are going to happen, they are operating from certain beliefs in mind. That's all. Otherwise, why would they be doing this? You are truly formless, and so this is where we operate from, the power of awareness, which is above the mind. As mentioned, you now have the ability to put into your mind whatever speech, whatever you imagine, and it happens. Other beliefs in mind have no power over you. You give them power, and this you I'm referring to is your formless self, I, awareness. If you never gave them power, they would not exist. I remember a while back, one of my IT business clients were a psychoanalytic organization, and I got to provide IT services, and I even got to sit in on some of their trainings as I would provide the service. And I would listen from time to time, and they were saying the same thing, although they seemed to be saying it differently. So the power of awareness is higher than the mind. You are awareness, and you are aware of. And if something seems to throw you off, acknowledge that you are not that belief. You are the formless self, awareness. Kind of like a meditation, simple acknowledgement, and then it changes. And from there, what we consciously imagined happens. See, desires can only cause suffering if we don't accept them as already fulfilled and done for us. As mentioned in last Sunday's video, this way of applying the law, which is really accepting right then and there as already fulfilled, was new to me over the last few years. And so I find it to be highly effective. And thus I'd like to encourage this for you as well. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's go ahead and conclude this with an autosuggestion to further encourage. You could say, I imaginally accept what I desire, and from there others show up to play out what I have imagined in a harmonious way, consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. For to imagine lovingly is to do unto all, and revealed as my heaven on earth, which exists now and always now, all by simply imagining how it is. I look not to the visible world for validation, as all validation is found within. And from the power of awareness, where I operate from, I change every last detail on the screen of space to reflect my fulfilled desires, already done for me by divine providence. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk with you soon. Take care.